So here's Beck writing notes about Anthony Weiner. Now, he's the congressman from New York. He hates you. And are you a cannibal? Are you eating Weiner?
I'm here for Weiner facts. That's all I'm doing.
Now, isn't that a little immature that you're making fun of a sitting congressman by eating a Weiner because the guy's name Weiner?
Now, Fox News fanboys can get miffed over me referring to their two heroes, Beck and O'Reilly, as clowns. But how else to describe this unintentional parody by them of real journalism?
Okay. We might explain to those who are not aware that the congressman is accusing you of being Goldfinger.
A lot of Wieners do that.
Do they?
Do you know technically he's the only Wiener in Congress?
I did not know that.
Yeah, he is. Anyway, it's weird.
Explain what his objection is.
Well, Congressman Weiner has an objection of a company selling antique gold coins for 18% profit.
Gold Line.
Gold Line.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Company I represent.
That's a good company, I think.
A+ credit rating from the Better Business Bureau. In fact, the New York Times was called on it, and they said after they saw Anthony Weiner's report, they decided to go back and look at it, and they rechecked it again. This, according to the New York Times, they have an A+ rating. They retain their A+ rating in an industry that is full of Fs.
Okay.
So it's weird.
So we like Gold Line.
It's almost like Weiner is going after something else. Maybe
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look,
come on.
I mean, here's the thing.
Okay, I'm going to stop the tape here because we're about to jump into one of Beck's fanciful conspiracy stories. Don't worry, I'll play all the rest. Beck's no longer a little pup showing up on O'Reilly's show. Nope, he's the big dog now and can show his ass. So he can get away with eating hot dogs on set and get O'Reilly to gush of Gold Line, quote unquote, that's a good company, I think. Based upon the only fact Beck's presented thus far, that they can charge an 18% profit on investment-grade gold. The only fact Beck ever brings up to defend Gold Line is they have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Not that that fact is needed, since O'Reilly had already made up his mind what a quote-unquote good company it is. Odd that Mr. No Spin is making a complete fool of himself playing straight man to Beck's Morning Zoo act, since he's so sensitive to media bias. Well, liberal bias anyway. But there's more going on here than O'Reilly being a hypocrite in revealing his own biases. If you wait to the end of the clip, you'll see Beck isn't the only one selling out his principles for gold.
Here's a guy who one of his main people, he used to work for Media Matters, which is weird. But also here's a guy who's trying to tell an A+ Better Business Bureau rated company how to do business when he has been nailed twice for financial improprieties.
Weiner has.
Weiner has. But, you know, that's what, you know, you would expect from him.
But one of the things that he says is that you scare everybody by saying...
He's right on that one.
Yeah, you are frightening.
I'm scaring you right now, right?
Well, I'm kind of impervious to your shenanigans, but a lot of people aren't. So you scare them by saying the economy's going to hell, the currency's not going to be worth anything.
I know, and it's weird because Paul Volcker, I just read in the paper, Paul Volcker said, we're running out of time. For what? Another birthday party, Paul? For what?
Well, he's running out of time to fix the economy.
Wait, I thought the president said the worst was behind us. What? It's almost like I'm not the only one saying it. It's almost like the stock market going down is kind of like the same thing I've been saying.
I'm not trying to legitimize Weiner's comments or whatever you say on
your show. Are you a Weiner supporter?
No. I like Weiner because he comes on a program, but
there was
he's a far-left guy. Weiner's a far-left guy. He doesn't like you, and that's it. But I want to get to the audience. I want to get across to the audience that Weiner is a sitting congressman. Weiner says that because you're frightening the American public by saying the economy's bad, and you better watch out for your dollars, might not be worth it, that you and the gold people have an arrangement. That's what Weiner purports.
Right.
But Weiner then goes, and I heard on your radio show today, after he says this, he goes to the White House for a meeting.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting?
Is that provable?
An hour? Oh, yeah. Okay. No, an hour after he held the press conference.
But that's why it's not a joke. That's why it's not a joke. Because if Weiner is working with people in Congress or in the White House to try to destroy you, that's not a joke, Beck. Then I have to get involved and defend you.
Hang on just a second. Thank you.
You will.
Here's the thing. So it wasn't a joke when Jim Wallace, the spiritual and political advisor of President Barack Obama, is boycotting me, leading a boycott.
Nobody knows who he is, though.
He is a spiritual and political advisor.
But nobody knows.
He's
Nobody
meeting
cares.
with the president. Then you have Andy Stern, SEIU.
Yeah.
SEIU leading a boycott, trying to put me out of business. There's two people that are targets of mine. Van Jones, his organization, leading a boycott. You have AFL-CIO, president of, what's his name, Trump, coming out and saying, we're going to do something about the Beck problem. Really? And now, Weiner.
Okay, but
please call me to testify.
Of all
please,
of those people,
please.
All of those
I'll
people.
be so respectful.
Weiner is the one you should take seriously. The others are, but this.
Is there something here that makes me, am I coming off like I don't take him seriously?
Yeah, a little bit. See, I think that this is a legitimate news story. Okay? I think it's a legitimate news story. I do. If Weiner, and I'm saying if, and we invited Weiner on next week, by the way.
Really?
If Weiner is working with people behind powerful people, elected people, either in Congress or in the White House, trying to destroy you, then Weiner himself's got a big problem. Big problem.
How, Bill, with all of the problems going on, how is a company that is an A+ rated?
It's stupid.
How is that possibly get to his desk? Do you know what he wrote about in his little blog thing, whatever you're doing, Weiner, keep it up. The thing that he wrote was, we've seen a blog response from somebody who said there was pressure.
But look, let me just reiterate. I don't want to be repetitive here. Yeah. If it's just Weiner, you just ate him. Okay, he's gone. But if it's more than Weiner behind him, then it's a big story, and we'll continue to watch it.
That O'Reilly's investigative journalism is laughable, and to Congressman Weiner's charges against gold merchants ripping off noobs with crap investments is bad enough. But what's the biggest joke is how he bites down hard on Beck's crackpot conspiracy theory and tells us how he feels compelled to protect his bud. O'Reilly boasts the best research team in the business, but somehow they missed this article, which, I believe, is the meeting Weiner had at the White House. It doesn't appear to have anything to do about Beck. Van Jones left his organization, Color of Change, before they boycotted Beck, and left the government in September 2009. Though there is an Obama link here, Color of Change boycotted Beck over his boneheaded smear of Obama as being a racist.
This president, I think, has exposed himself as a guy over and over and over again who has a deep-seated hatred for white people or the white culture. I don't know what it is, but you can't sit in a pew with Jeremiah Wright for 20 years and not hear some of that stuff and not have it wash over.
On the other hand, Reverend Jim Wallace's complaint doesn't reach to the White House. No, he's miffed at Beck for equating the term social justice with communism and Nazism. Really, Glenn, do you think Hitler was a big one for social justice? Evil Andy Stern no longer is a figure of power, having resigned at the head of his union. But the really funny thing about their boycott of Beck is there's so little information about it. SEIU's boycott of Arizona is well publicized with union press releases, but the only mention of boycotting Beck I can find is a SEIU blog entry linking to the Color Change boycott. None of this is shared with the Factor fanboys. O'Reilly's about to let the other shoe drop as to why he's such a drooling supporter of Beck's. They're business partners, you see. So he sold his journalistic soul for a pot of gold, too.
Okay.
All right, now, are you ready for...
Are you kidding me?
We're going to be in Norfolk, Virginia.
You, me?
Sold-out show, Norfolk, Virginia.
Knock down, drag out.
And you're ready for it, right?
Are you kidding? Okay. You're not ready.
I'm not yet.
You're not ready.
I'm not going to peak too early.
You're not ready.
Okay, so Norfolk, Virginia, Bold Fresh,
and then we have,
sold out, and then Columbus, Ohio, St. Louis, and Westbury, Long Island. All will be sold out.
Yeah, so you just go to
Bold
Fresh Tour. Why did we name it after his book? That's not right. BoldFreshTour.com. Get your tickets now.
Well, next time we'll call it Gold Line.
Wieners. Wieners on stage.
Glenn Beck, everybody. I'm sorry. I apologize. Wait, Congressman.
Anthony Weiner showed up on the Factor, but there's not enough time to show it. Suffice it to say, O'Reilly's treatment of him did resemble a bit him licking Beck's boots here. If I were a big star, I did say if, and showed on behalf of a credit card company offering a great 18% interest rate for gold investors, would you think I were a man of great principles looking out for the little guy? So what do you think of Beck now?
That's not true. He doesn't have that responsibility.
Can I tell you something? Well, I would say he used to be a paid sponsor for this company, Fox. To their credit, said you got to stop that relationship.
The difference between television and radio.
No.
The difference between television and radio.
Look, can I tell you something? Fox was right. Glenn Beck is wrong.
You're oversimplifying this, but I want to wrap it up.
Well, by the way, I want to say just on the point of oversimplifying.